What is going on, YouTube fam? Back with another video, and today we're going to talk about some Steven Crowder drama. Now, as a lot of you may have noticed, I'm not really the one to cover a lot of political drama in this channel. I actually used to have a political channel back in the day, but I got rid of all my content because to me politics are super toxic. You know, I have my personal opinion and everybody's going to have theirs. When you're in politics and you become a public person, you are liable to a lot of scrutiny, and you will have a lot of eyeballs on you, and a lot of people will talk about you. But anyways, this isn't about me. This is about Steven Crowder and his recent drama with his wife, his divorce, and some new revelations that have come out by his former employees who are saying that based on this video where you see Steven, and we're going to play the video for you guys here in a moment, the way you see Steven act is actually not surprising. Apparently, this is known in the conservative circles that Steven is actually an extremely difficult person to work with. I used to watch Steven's show, or rather listen to it. I stopped after the Daily Wire fiasco because I thought it was extremely slimy what he actually did with the Daily Wire, which was basically saying he was getting a slave contract when he was being offered $50 million for his show, because apparently he wanted like 120 million, because I guess he didn't think that 50 million was enough. Put a cherry on top, he decided to record what was supposed to be a friendly conversation with one of his friends and decided to air that out, I guess, as ammo to try and like make it look like the Daily Wire was in the wrong. And ever since then, I stopped listening to his show. I stopped just following him on platforms because I thought that was extremely shady, and that to me was such a shady person thing to do, right? Like, that's so shady. Why would you do that? So you supposedly call your friend on friendly terms. You guys are just gonna talk about the family, wife and kids. Meanwhile, you're recording this entire time, and then you decide to release the call, which actually ends up making you look worse. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. So Steven Crowder recently announced that he's been in the midst of a divorce from his wife since 2021. Well, I'm also gonna play you guys that video, and in that video, you guys are gonna see he made a lot of what I thought were weird comments, like, why would you say this? Let's go ahead and play this video.
Hey, we'll be on with your regular programming and Nick DiPaolo in third chair in a little bit, but needed to take a moment here to address some issues out there that are circulating. It's never fun, but well, I guess let me be clear here. I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted.
Notice how he says right there that that's not his choice, and that in the state of Texas, that's completely permitted. She would have no choice in the matter. Like, she'd have to stay. Imagine being with a person that thinks it's basically okay to hold a person hostage in a marriage just because you don't want them to get divorced. This is the weird part, right? He's saying the weird stuff now, and then you're going to see the video as to why his wife actually decided to leave him. But just imagine how crazy that is, that if he said, no, you're not gonna leave me, that she would just have to stay. That's kind of crazy. Either party, doesn't necessarily have to be man or woman. If a woman wants to leave, she wants to leave. If a man wants to leave, wants to leave.
It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad, and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter. In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it.
Again, that's kind of odd. That's an odd thing to say. If a person no longer wants to be with you, why would you want to force them to stay with you? So, of course, that's like, why would it not be permitted?
So for well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless.
That's another weird thing to say. Of course your children are blameless. They're children under the age of 2. Why would your children be to blame here? That's just, again, just another thing, weird thing to say. And then he's going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to cut the video there. and then we'll go ahead and get into the next video. But he's gonna say one more thing that's sus.
Completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately, as it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long, many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Here, I'm not gonna play this part, but basically you guys saw right there before I cut it off. He basically insinuated that Candace Owens was extorting him for this. That's another story that we're not gonna get into because in this video it's gonna become way too long. But yeah, he basically insinuated that Candace Owens was extorting him, and that is the reason why he decided to come out with this. But yeah, let's go ahead and skip this part. That's all you need to know about that part.
Well, my children have a right to privacy. Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's...
And so that right there, that what he said right there, that is no one's fault but his own, that he picked wrong, insinuating that his wife is basically a garbage person and she had no reason to leave him, basically trying to make himself the victim. Again, because this is what Steven Crowder does. There's a pattern of this. Again, a lot of it came out when he had the Daily Wire feud. Just weird that he would insinuate that his wife is a bad person and that he picked wrong in her. No, as you're gonna see here, Steven Crowder is actually the bad person, and she was the one who made the wrong choice with him. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next clip.
I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
There is no groceries. I do have
steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's not a reasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes, other than that, other than you see love comes back.
Respect.
No, other than man, no, you're not taking the car.
Steven,
you're not taking the car.
Steven.
For those of you who don't know, and I'm pretty sure everybody pretty much knows, Steven is a multi-millionaire. They have one car. Why is that? And you see how he's telling her she's not taking the car? And you're gonna see forward in this video, like what he says is literally crazy, it's unreasonable, but he's basically telling her she's not taking the car. Why would he only have one car? And the only thing I can think of in this situation is for control, to be honest. That's the only reason I can think of.
Then I will ask someone to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not a threat, Steven.
Get an Uber.
See
Okay.
how he's telling her to go ahead and take an Uber? She's 8 months pregnant. This is an 8-month pregnant woman who can't take the only car that they have, even though he isn't doing anything. He doesn't currently need the car, and he's telling her to take an Uber after she asked him if she can call somebody to come pick her up, and he would have the choice in who this person is.
Steven, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Steven.
Like, I can't
Steven.
go. Listen to me. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary.
He can't go to the gym. He can't go to his friends. He can't be home. So if she takes the car, he can't be home. If it's a good idea for her to take an Uber, how is it unreasonable for him to be able to take an Uber as well? You want to go to the gym? Take an Uber. You want to go see your parents? Take an Uber. You want to go see your friends? Take an Uber. Or why not have one of your friends come pick you up? Why not have your dad pick you up? Why not have your family pick you up? Anything that you need to do. This is unreasonable. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, this is all about control. This is him. They have one car because he wants to control his wife's every move.
Just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
See,
Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Steven.
And making it work. The only way out of it is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, or we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline and respect.
Steven.
There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Steven.
Hillary,
Steven?
you give up so easily.
I
just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Steven, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go, I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem.
That's a crazy thing to say to your 8-month pregnant wife. After she says, I love you. I don't love you.
Never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, just be disciplined about it, you go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. It's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at an impasse. Become someone.
So what he's talking about there, put on some gloves, is because the dogs, his dogs are taking some sort of medicine, and the medicine is supposed to be bad for pregnant women. And so she doesn't want to handle the medicine, but he wants her to put on gloves to give the medicine to the dogs. What I don't understand is that he's right there sitting on the couch in their backyard. Why can't he give the dogs the medicine? Why does she's 8 months pregnant. Why is she the one that has to do any of this? He's literally doing nothing but smoking a cigar. He's telling her to go ahead and give the dogs the medicine, knowing that the medicine is bad for pregnant people. To me, that is very unreasonable. I don't know about you, but you guys let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. But that seems very unreasonable. But again, it's all about the control. It's all about you do what I say when you say it. And you're not allowed to leave the house because we only have one car and I control what we do with that car.
Listen to me. Day in and day out, worthy of a wife, no, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to it. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm gonna just
walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication the dogs take? No, you take Betty.
So yeah, as you guys see there, it says as the Crowders head inside, Steven gets angry and by his own admission screams, "I will fuck you up," at his pregnant wife Hillary, who then flees their home. This guy is just an abuser, habitual abuser, does it to his wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, his employees. That's why no one has anything good to say about Steven Crowder. And yesterday an article was published on the New York Post, which reads as follows. I'm going to read the article to you guys to show you guys how abusive this guy actually is. A bombshell ring video was leaked last week of influential conservative commentator Steven Crowder berating his wife Hillary. In the footage from June 2021, he tells her to effing watch it and accuses her of refusing to do wifely things while telling her he doesn't love her. At the time, she was 8 months pregnant with their twins. Her family released a statement saying she had been hiding his mentally and emotionally abusive behavior from her friends and family. The pair, who married in 2012, have been locked in a contentious divorce since 2021. Crowder claimed the disturbing footage, which was released on journalist Yashar Ali's Substack, was misleadingly edited. But numerous former employees of the provocateur alleged these types of unhinged tirades were commonplace inside the Louder Crowder office. "I'm not shocked, but it was pathetic what he did to Hillary," a former employer told the Post. "That might not be Steven you see on his show, but that was the real Steven." The Post spoke to 10 former employees who claimed Crowder ran an abusive company where he often screamed at his employees, including his own father, exposed his genitals, sent out directives arbitrarily to fire people, and made underlings wash his dirty laundry. The former staffers worked for the show at different times, from its inception in 2016 through 2022. The vast majority had left the company voluntarily. They requested anonymity because they either fear retaliation or have signed NDAs. All said they felt compelled to speak out about the media personality after the sickening footage was made public and his former co-host Dave Landau called him a bully in an interview last week. "We don't want Steven to suffer. We just want the abuse to stop, or at least let future employees know what they're getting themselves into," said one former employee. The Post reached out to Crowder via his lawyer. There was no response. But basically, there's some allegations in this article where allegedly he put his nutsack on his co-host, Not Gay Jared, while he was sleeping on a trip back from a comedy show they had done somewhere. Let me see if I can find it here in the article. Yeah, a former staff recalled driving back from Illinois in a van after a college show in March 2018 when former producer Jared Monroe, who Crowder dubbed as Not Gay Jared, was targeted. Jared was asleep in the last row. Steven was in front and he was joking about what he was going to do, the staffer recalled. He climbed over and dropped his junk on top of Jared's shoulders. The same person also claimed Crowder exposed himself to Jared in 2017 while they were in a green screen room filming a parody of Ghost. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to read about this article. As you can see, more than 10 former employees have already come forward and said that this dude is a garbage human being. He's a diva to work with and clearly not a good husband. And the reason why that video came out about him abusing his wife was because of what he said about his wife, about not picking right, and when he was the one that was committing the abuse. That's all I have for this video. I want to hear your thoughts about what you guys think about Steven Crowder and about this whole situation, and even about him alleging that Candace Owens was extorting him with this information. But for what? What could Candace Owens possibly gain out of this? Absolutely nothing. In my opinion, Steven likes to play the victim. This time, it just isn't working. Whatever little ounce of respect I had left for him after that Daily Wire debacle is completely gone. I don't listen to him. I'm no longer, I haven't been subscribed in months, but I no longer listen to him, and I don't follow him on any social media anymore. But yeah, those are my thoughts about this situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this video, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.